Okay. Okay, we are streaming. We got the ominous name actual here is in here. This is going to be an announcement stream. An announcement stream. We are going to initiate preparation to defend the people of the United States in a responsible capacity that is nonviolent. Oh, sorry. Is that too much glow stick? Sorry, I forgot. We were fishing earlier here. Oh, go a red light. Sorry. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have fucking glow sticks hanging on my hat. Yeah. This is so. Of course. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I am going to, for lack of better judgment, I am going to call that we are in the opening of the Boog, due to the number of destabilization operations going on through the United States right now. So today is, what is it, the 29th? So we are on May 29th, 2020. And it appears that the Boog has started. The protests have really expanded into a lot of different locations, and it due to the timing and the number of places that this is happening at one time, I would say that this is certainly coordinated. So we are officially, the Boog has officially begun. And so the first thing that I want to do is explain to people that, this is going to be a really long process, that is going to take a long time, and it's going to be really easy to be led astray. And my only advice to you is that you should go with God, and you should listen to your heart, and you should not seek revenge against people, because revenge and justice is not in this world. And you should seek to be merciful, but also guard yourself and defend against predation against innocent. And the situation is just going to progress and get a lot worse. And this is certainly going to, I do not know what this is going to look like in the United States, but you're certainly going to get wrapped up into the Chinese war. That is a absolute. It is coming, and it is going to come here one way or another. It is probably going to be you going over there. It's probably not going to be the Chinese coming here. But if they go into a coalition, you could have incursion through it would most likely be through Alaska. That's probably not very likely. It's probably going to be overseas. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why. Yeah, okay. Well, that's what the fucking video is for, Zapov. We're trying to explain it here. Okay, so I don't know what that means, Zapov. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to announce the launch of a nationwide community service organization that will be composed of war veterans, and we're going to go ahead and begin taking applicants. So this organization is called the American War Veterans Extended Service Corps. It is a 501c19 that is in good standing and is federally tax exempt, and has been already created and is sitting on standby for this exact situation. So if you are a war veteran, and that means that by legal definition, in terms of what is compliant with the 501c19, we are talking about people who are honorably discharged from the military that have served under a congressionally recognized term of service in war in the United States. You are eligible to form a post in your area if you have enough war veterans that you can get together to make a post. So if you are interested in that, You can contact me in 2 ways, and we're just going to do simple contact for the initial recruitment roll call. So if you are a war veteran in the United States, GWAT veterans, particularly like young GWAT veterans, we're trying to get you involved in your community so you don't get wrapped up in the draft. That's going to sure to fucking come eventually. And so we want you to be able to face the situation here that's coming up with resources and a network of support, so that you're not alone and having to face it alone, because that's kind of what's going on right now, is that everybody is kind of distended and isolated. And so if you would like to start a post, or if you would like to search for other posts that you can join, you can send me an email at Dooger, that's Dooger at tutanota.com. In order to actually become a member, because of congressional law, you are required to send us a DD-214, and you're going to get a background check to make sure that you are actually a war veteran. The War Veteran Organization requires 100% war veteran qualification in order to be a member. So you can send an email if you don't want to do an email for some reason, and you want to do like postal mail, or if you are a person that wants to donate to this organization, then you can send you can send a check right now to DA, that's like Delta Alpha, that's the initial for Dugan Ashley. I'm just going to use this post office box for now. You can send a check to DA PO Box 173, Concordia, Missouri 64020, and that address is also in the description of this video. So if you want to apply for it to make a veteran group, or to join another group, you can go ahead and send an email or snail mail. And if you wanted to make like an initial donation, then you can send it there. If you send a big ass donation, get in contact with me through email first, so that we can get your return set up, so that you can get a receipt for it, so you can get your deduction for tax exemption. Okay. If you have a car that you want to donate to one of these groups or something, you can get full market value out of it. So if you have like a car that you need to get rid of, and you think that's a good way to do it, email me about it and we can figure it out. We can also take real estate. So if you have real estate that you're sitting on that's hemorrhaging, depending on certain situations, you can send me an email and discuss. We can discuss like a property donation, and you can potentially skip your capital gains tax on selling a property. Depending on, there's a lot of nuances there in terms of how long you've lived there and things like that, and what your AGI is. But we can figure it out. So that is the announcement. Now the AWVA ESC, the Extended Service Corps, is a separate entity from the Wild Corps. The Wild Corps is a separate 501c3 general purpose nonprofit that is unrelated to AWV ESC, and it is run by civilians. And it is currently pending the federal exemption status. It has exemption status for its charter in the state of Montana, and it can take donations right now. But you should be aware that you may not be able to be getting a deduction yet. So if you wanted to wait on that and go towards the Wild Corps, then you can wait until the federal exemption is cleared, which should be in approximately 6 months or less. So going back to the AWV ESC, if this sounds like something that you'd be interested in, you want more information, you can send me an email with specific questions. The basic premise of the function of it is that you will create groups in your locality of war veterans, and you're going to get resources from donations pushed to you for operating capital, and you're basically going to interface with your locality and your municipality to provide community service, regardless of what that may be, what your municipality needs. And the purpose of this is to have a third rail of economic energy to keep you functioning if things go really bad. And so we are setting up right now because we are officially in the Boog territory, so we're going to go ahead and launch it. And this is kind of like an unofficial launch, but this is what I got, so we're going to do it this way. The ESC is a community service organization, and it's not a, like, we're not talking like a militia here. We're talking about like something that can be used in national emergency for both like search and rescue. We were talking like labor. We were talking like coordination with services to like keep your city functioning and shit if things go really bad. So I mean, it could go into defense, like if we get invaded and shit or something like that, or if you have subversive elements running a coup in your fucking city. The idea here is that you're gonna basically get your own clubhouse, and you're gonna get resources pushed to you, and you're gonna have a place that you can go where you can meet face to face with other war veterans, and you can interface with your community, and you can have you can interface with your city council or whoever. That's the basic idea. It's just a platform to give you the ability to be able to organize to defend the U.S. Constitution. That is what it's for. What your programs are, you will write your own programs. So depending on your locality, if you live in a city, it's going to be a different priority than if you live in a rural, region. So the way that AWVESC is set up is that you're going to use a standardized packet to write your own programs and come up with your own budgets, like budget requests, and then we're going to solicit it from like the top level to solicit your funds, and then we're going to send them to you. So these two things in combination, if we can get them nationally extended, they're going to provide a independent buffer to defend people that are in the cities, like both in a literal sense of like defense if necessary, but in more of in a capacity that is separated from the standard economic chain funding. So this is a group sourced funding conduit to provide some energy into your localities. So if you have a bunch of veterans that like if you know 5 veterans, war veterans, you might want to consider sending an email so that you can have some resources and write your own programs. That is the end of the announcement. The rest of this video is just going to be a wild live stream. How do we trust your intention? DM, okay, here's a question. A gentleman named DM asked me, how do we trust your intention? I don't think you should trust an intention, but you shouldn't really trust anything. The way that this is set up is that you are making your own. So it is going to be cellular in the sense that like you are interfacing with your community, your local community, and if you start like doing bad shit or something, you're going to get funding cut off. So I don't know if that answers your question. If that's what you really, I'm not going to make you do anything. I'm providing you a conduit of funding and the ability to get a location where you can meet with people that's not like your personal fucking residence. So you can have an actual building that you can meet with people and make your own programs. Your programs are pretty much unrestricted. You just have to be constitutional. That's the only restriction. So I don't know what, like, I don't know what your, I mean, possibly it could. Zach S asks, could this be extended to civilians if things get bad? Potentially, yeah, if the IRS will approve it. We already got IRS approval for this. Like, this is about a 2-year-old approval. Yeah. So RH1NO says it's all about getting involved and being accountable. So if need be, you can protect your community. So that is correct, but it is like, where you want to avoid going is the whole like militia angle. Like, if that needs to come, that'll just come automatically. You don't need a fucking AWV ESC to do that. This is for providing the ability for you guys to organically create your own like veterans post to provide community service for whatever you need for whatever place you live. That's it, and that's the entire purpose of it. And it is not, the AWV ESC is not a 501c3. It is a 501c3. It is a 501c19. Anybody that has a congressionally recognized term of war service is eligible to become a member and to make a post. So if you're a World War II vet and you're still kicking, you can make a fucking post if you want to. It's whatever you want. The idea, though, the problem is that most of the veteran groups that have been created under the 501c19, that would be like Foreign Legion and things like that, or American Legion, rather. American Legion and a couple other ones. There's not very many of them because of the strict requirement for membership. They are more oriented into like not really like direct results, in my opinion. So they're not really, they don't really focus on like the big problems that are going on, and they're not really set up to like interface with to address the urgent issues that are going to start to arise right now, starting now. And you can already see that with, I mean, I'm sure that everybody's aware of what's going on in the United States right now. Whether or not they know how serious it is, you're aware that it's kind of scary. So this is an opportunity for you to make your own programs, and then essentially it's a very redundant system. So what happens is, to give you a description, if this is something that you're interested in, but you're like worried in terms of trust, so it's a redundant system. So what happens is you're going to organize your own post. You're going to locate and find a building, and we're just going to give you packets that explain like what you do in order to legally acquire the real estate, and then we're going to process all your paperwork and shit. You just check the boxes. You're going to like acquire your piece of property, and you're going to form your organization of your vets, and then you guys are going to have a private establishment that is not public, so that you can determine what kind of programs you want to run in your city for community service, for helping your people that you live with in your community. You're going to use a standardized packet that is going to basically have a bunch of check boxes and like descriptive fields. And you're basically, when you get done with the packet, it's going to have the op order for whatever program you've decided that is worthwhile for your community. You're going to send it up to like the executive staff, and the executive staff is going to review it for IRS compliance to make sure that it's compatible with the broad, general tax exempt purpose of a 501c19, and then they're going to approve it and send it back down. Once you get that packet back, it's going to be filled out with like budget and everything, and then all you have to wait on is your actual fundraising, and then you execute your programs. All right. No, everybody. Mark Davis asked, so does the owner of a 501c19 have to be a vet, or everyone involved? So the 501c19 is a nonprofit veterans group that is tax exempt. So it does not have ownership. It is under a corporate structure, and it is chartered in the state of Missouri. And it is a corporation, a nonprofit corporation. It has no ownership. It has a board and an executive staff right now. That is it. It has no membership because it's a skeleton entity waiting on the books for like right now is what it's been waiting for. And so all staff involved, everybody on the board, and everybody in the executive capacity, that like the secretary, president, and treasurer, and all that, are all war veterans. Okay, so right now we've got like Marines and Army, like me, Ramadi, and then we've got like Fallujah vets. We've got a scout sniper in there, and so like a Marine scout sniper, and they're all enlisted. So we don't even have any officers in there yet. So to give you an idea of like what kind of organization we're talking about here. Yeah, there are going to be lots of liability issues that will get figured out, but most of the shit like insurance can be donated to a nonprofit. So we can work out the civilian interface with the organizations, but in terms of like on paper membership, it's 100% war veterans. You can't have civilians involved. Like the meetings that they do have to be closed off to civilians because that's just the nature of like a 501c19. It's like a high 90th percentile, like by IRC, it requires like in the 90th percentile of like percentage of war veterans. We don't want to play around with that, so we're just going straight to 100% so that we don't have any kind of issues with non-compliance with IRS, because you could get subversives in here and stuff, like people that aren't war veterans that slip through the cracks and like forge a DD-214 and shit. And so in order to combat that, we're going like 100% so that we never have to worry about a floating percentage that we have to keep track of like I mean, it's got to be only like you're only allowed like 3% like non-combat veteran direct affiliation on paper. So we in the bylaw, when we charted this organization, we said nope, we're doing 100%. So it is all everybody involved in this is going to be a congressionally approved, congressionally recognized war veteran, and it's decentralized. So you will have your own groups, and your only limitation is that you have to be within the tax exempt function of a 501c19, which is through our the ESC's approval, like IRS recognition. That is the only necessity. In terms of like everything else, it's your program. Like we're just there to create the network, to facilitate you to have the resources to make your program for your locality. There's no website yet. We don't have a website. It is pretty much a skeleton organization, and we need donations so that we can get this thing started. The approval for it took about a year and a half because it's extremely unusual, and we were very careful and consulted with lawyers when we wrote our charter, and then it went through. It got approved by the IRS. There are not a whole lot of 501c19s in existence. 501c3s are an entirely different beast, and they're a dime a dozen. The 501c19, you have maybe like 7 or 8 in the United States. What do we got going on in DC, Kevin? All right, that was the announcement for AWVASC. I will do another announcement for WildCorps when it is federally tax exempt and prepared to accept donations. If you don't care about deduction, you can donate to WildCorps already because they are chartered in Montana and a legal entity that is in existence, a nonprofit entity. They build food for us, by the way. Zalpov asks, can you post in the comments or description? Post what? Kevin, what do we got going on with DC? Apparently Secret Service in riot gear. Yep. It's getting pretty serious. This is the reason that I'm doing this stream right here. You guys need to kind of like take in the seriousness of the situation. Okay? I know that everybody's paranoid about feds. I am not, because I know a bunch of feds. Okay? And they're probably going to be involved with these organizations. So this is something that's needed for the United States, and it's kind of unorthodox, but that's because we are not full of shit, and we are from the heart, and we are. This is like what people think about America when they imagine what America is. So yeah, White House is not going to be overrun. They're going to be fine. I promise. Yeah, White House is not going to get overrun, guys. Don't worry about it. You don't even know what kind of shit they have at the White House. It's fucking ridiculous. They're gonna have no fucking problem at all. Yeah, we will get through it, but am I armed right now? Yes, I'm heavily armed. All the time. If you see me, I have a rifle. Yeah, this process, what is going on is a long haul. Now, what you need to understand, and I've tried to express this in some of these streams, what you need to understand is that the Boog is just, that's a 4-letter word, and it means a lot of things to different people. On the control paradigm side, they are trying to push the conception of any kind of defense of the Constitution as a oppressive and generally a supremacist based ideology, and a violence like a violence based ideology against establishment government. What the Boog really is the realization for people to wake up and understand and conceptualize that they are in a economically controlled slow motion destruction, and we have to become independent in the United States and provide our own resources by our own hands in an intelligent way where we can distribute the shit to other people without using the traditional economic system. And this is extremely important because everything that's going on right now is only possible because of the current economic paradigm. And so going forward, if you don't acknowledge that, you are going to fall into one trap after another and get swallowed up. So you need to be becoming self-sufficient and independent in every way possible that you can right now. And you start today. You don't have to go all at once, everything, but you should be taking whatever practical step you can in the immediacy. You need to be able to provide for yourself resources that you consume. The reason being that if you do not provide them for yourself and do not have that ability, then you're going to get them used against you as a weapon when they're taken away. And once they're taken away, you're going to do things that you wouldn't normally do, and you're going to be easy to control. And this is the entire way that everything has happened in corruption of our politics and education Everything that's happened for the last 70 years. I don't know if balkanization is going to happen. I have no idea. It certainly seems plausible. Who knows? I don't know. All that I can tell you, what I can tell you that is 100% is that you're going to have a World War III with China. That is 100%. Yeah, Scott Chris says we're being robbed blind. He's exactly fucking correct. You are being robbed blind, and the money that's being taken from you is being pumped into the destabilization operation that's occurring right now all over the United States. They didn't even pay for it themselves. They're using your money to do it. That's how fucked up shit is. You guys really need to, if you don't understand, if you're like new guy that just wandered in the stream, you need to understand, I'm not getting paid to tell you this, and I don't represent anybody. I live out in the boonies. You need to get your shit tight right now and start to work on becoming independent in terms of your lifestyle. Farsight asks, what do you think of the police in America doing? Okay, so the police are human beings and they are American citizens, and on two different elements here, you should have respect for life, and you should not take life needlessly in any kind of situation, regardless of if it's a police or even a criminal. Life is very precious, and justice really isn't here on the earth. And when you execute somebody or whatever, like even I'm talking about in the legal system that we're accustomed to, like for murderers or whatever, when you have execution, it really doesn't alleviate the suffering of the victims. And that's a sure sign that justice is a thing that is beyond this world. And the way that we are going to actualize justice in physicality in this world is to create the conditions where people are, they are motivated and selected into not committing the crimes in the first place. We are very far from that place, and it's because we are completely managed and enslaved by the economic system that we are subject to. It's the exact same thing with police. So if, like the old model of policing prior to the 1830s was extremely representational and limited. And you had a massive expansion after the Civil War in the 1860s. That's when you get the modern conception of like what you would consider police. And it is, like you have to understand two sides of it. Number one, you have to understand that the people that fulfill the role of police are human beings just like everyone else, and they deserve the exact same opportunity of existence as everyone else. And in terms of the historical side, there, the state structure that is police is being pulled away from the constituency representation that was inherent in the original Constitution, in terms of having what you would consider like a sheriff, like an elected representative that enforces law. The police departments are a removal from that began after the Civil War. They began before the Civil War on the East Coast, and they expanded from the East Coast to nationwide post-Civil War, pre-industrialization. And then industrialization assisted in completing that transformation. David Cobb asked me, was the killing of Floyd a planned trigger? That I couldn't tell you. It's impossible to tell the depth of what's going on, and it's almost too semantical to consider, because like the reason that things are happening doesn't really matter. What matters are the acts and the progression of this thing. And right now you've got cities across the United States being destabilized. It's absolutely a coordinated thing, not, like necessarily and logically, especially when you're pulling it into the time frame right now, which is the escalation with China in preparation for the Chinese war. So the destabilization operations are designed to, like, the reason that you're seeing acceleration is because they are trying to, the people who are really doing this shit are trying to take your focus off of looking for them and thinking about them and putting it onto external things so they can buy time and waste your time and your focus so they can prepare whatever last minute things they need to get set up to launch the war with China, at which time you will be completely occupied with China because you're going to be fighting each other to the death, and you're not going to have time to run around and think about corruption in the United States. You're going to have to worry about surviving. That is what the purpose of the Chinese war is. Jay Smith says, I'm going to swear in for the Marines next week, Dugan. Should I back out? I can't answer that for you. You have to decide that on your own. We need people in the United States that are going to be courageous enough to defend people in the United States. That is what we need. We do not need people overseas. People that are going overseas are being sent over there to weaken the United States so they can complete the transition of the coup. Boathouse 73 says, I just thought of something, Doug. If we were on the course of war with China, wouldn't we see mobilization, like increased production, troop movement, etc.? You will. It's just not there yet. This all has to build up. It has to be one step in front of the other until you get there. The reason that I know that the Chinese war is inevitable is economic, due to the transferring of gold from central banks into China. Gold is an inversion of the US dollar. It automatically sets up a conflict, a necessary conflict. This is the reason that you know that it's coming, because it's so far along. We are past the point of no return by far. So you will go to war with China, one way or another. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter like what happens. You're going to be at least sold the idea of that there's a big war with China and that you're going to have to go. No, you will have peace someday. 420. Space Force, I don't think that it is practically applicable to discuss. It's probably a psyop. I'm gonna be working on the data stream this weekend. We're going to pull up data. Do you have some kind of data that you specifically wanted me to put into that stream that you were thinking about, that you were referencing there? Or what? Boathouse, I don't really know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. He's talking about like early mobilization and jumping the gun. I don't understand what you're talking about. How bad is China's economy right now? It's not that bad, because it's the inversion to the United States' economy. It's entirely, I mean, in a sense it is bad because they're holding on to a bunch of fucking US Treasury bonds that they're not going to be able to sell. But that's really more of like a bad thing for the United States. Zubov says aliens are real. Come on. Zubov, I don't know what we're talking about. Are we talking about just like, are we just talking about like, are you saying that like aliens are in a practical sense important in this situation? Is that what you're suggesting? Zobov, I'm getting kind of tired with your like vague comments here. We got three officers down in Pennsylvania, according to EMS in DC. Pennsylvania Avenue, in DC, 3 officers down, 17th and Pennsylvania. This is assuming, yeah, I'm presuming this is on a scanner. Okay, you have a good night too. Thank you for, hopefully you got something of value here. Fisher C asks, would the Rothschilds fund the U.S. or China when the war starts? The Rothschilds are economics. So Donkey Hammer says, okay, one last time, who are the ones pulling the strings, Doug? In terms of, I can't tell you that. I cannot tell you who's at the top. All that I can tell you is that economically it falls under Rothschild House, particularly the British Rothschild House. Yeah, if they're fucking around the White House, they are going to get P90 for sure. Boogie 1776 Big Igloo asked me, Dugan, do you think the military will stand with U.S. citizens if the situation becomes clear to them? If it becomes clear, yes. I think that money is a lot thicker than clarity. Ben says, military is with the people, at least I was, and everyone I knew. That may be true in your head, but the reality is that in 1933, you had an active Army unit deploy along with the cavalry to suppress World War I veterans that were on a peaceful demonstration on Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C., to get their deferred payment for services rendered in World War I. And while they were there, they got tanks rolled on them, and they got all their shit burned, and they shot 2 of them. And they kicked them out into Florida, and the FEMA equivalent of the time made work camps for them in Florida, and 500 of them got killed in the hurricane of 1935, on a Labor Day hurricane in 1935 in Florida. So despite what you think, there is not historical precedence to support what your claim is. Active military soldiers will not only deploy against civilians, they will deploy against their prior generation of other active military, what would have been military soldiers that fought in wars. Doghammer asks, time frame of the duration of this event, Doug. Which event are we talking about? David Turner asked, Dugan, with Trump calling for National Guard to shoot looters, do you think they'll follow through? I'm not familiar with this order or statement, and so, like, no opinion on the veracity of that. In terms of, like, the actuality of, like, people getting shot, like, we're really close. It's coming up. I don't know if it's going to be this event or this situation right now, but like we are moving into people getting shot territory very soon. It could be any time. If they started shooting people right now, it would be like par for the course. So if it's not right now, it's going to be very soon. Have a good night, Luke. Thanks for. Hope you got something of value out of here. Yeah, I don't follow Trump on Twitter, so I don't know. I'm just saying that, you know. DM says, Dugan, please clarify your organization you are starting. I am distrustful because you kind of turned a corner there. I don't really give a fuck, DM. Like, send me an email or not. I don't really care. You're all in this situation together, and you're gonna figure out one way or another. Matt Vorney says Chinese troops in USA. Matt Vannery says Chinese troops in USA seems like an impossibility. It certainly would, but how about Chinese, Russian, and Brazilian troops? Scott Crispus, I think Trump is a relative good. My personal opinion is that Trump is completely bought and has no autonomy whatsoever. Has no choice over what he does. DNS, are you running the org? I can't run. I'm on the board, so I'm running it in that sense. But there are other board members. It's voted. It's a corporate. It's a nonprofit corporate structure. You should research that if you want to. I mean, it's like supposed to be a decentralized organization in terms of the legal structure. And it's a nonprofit. Is PSD still around? How do you rate their products? I think they sold ownership, but I think they are still involved. Like the stuff they did make, yeah, I approve it. They have high quality control. And if you got something that like failed QC somehow, they're gonna like switch it out for you, no problem. They're solid dudes. I personally know them. KaiWolf74 says that he welcomes World War III because he wants to snag some Chinese 545 packs. I don't think that they're shooting 545 right now in China. Fisher C asks, when will your CD be coming out? Probably like in a bit. I gotta release this first song. I'm probably not even gonna. What I'll probably do is just release the first song without a music video so that you guys can get it faster. That way you get something immediate for the Boog here, since you're already starting in the Boog. Jacob Mullins asked me, hey, what do you mean by combat vets? Is combat experience required, or you just mean GWA vets? So I'm talking about a congressionally recognized veteran that served in a time of war service. It's an IRS definition. It's not our definition, it's IRS definition. Zalpov may have just gotten bit by a horsefly. I'm sorry. You might have deserved it. What were you doing? Were you fucking with horseflies? Were you going over there and poking their nest or something? David Kopp says he's pretty sure Chinese money is funding a lot of these protests. Maybe in terms of like somebody setting up and using yuan to fund them, but the Chinese are not behind it. David Hammer says, yeah, why Brazil? Brazil has been stimulated by central bank loans for the past 15 years. And they are currently receiving massive injections of weapons from from IWI and from Israel. They're also getting direct personal support from Israel, and that's indicative of the country getting built up. That's the reason that you're having cartel videos with fucking IWI micro glials with people executing people, because that's how many fucking glials they've sent into Brazil. They're spilling out of Brazil into the rest of South America. David Kopp says he welcomes World War III because he likes Chinese girls. Well, you probably won't experience Chinese girls because they're probably going to stay over there. You're probably just going to get, I mean, I guess if you went over there, you could get a Chinese girl, or you're going to have Chinese men taking your girls here. I guess those are the only possibilities, really. Kevin Murphy says all of these riots are happening in democratic cities, Dugan. Yeah, you're correct. It's because everything that's going on right now is a fucking slow motion coup, and it's coming to its culmination at some point. Kevin Murphy says gotta have a cab. I'm assuming you're saying combat action badge. You don't have to have a combat action badge. You just have to have served in a, like if you served in the GWAT on your DD-214, then you're eligible for membership. Doug's at the T Giles asks, have you heard of the RevComs? They are a domestic group calling for communist revolution. I have not heard of them. There are a lot of communist groups. Communism is fake, so I'm not really worried about them. Gulf vets are eligible, yeah. Dooger, D-O-O-G-E-R, at tutanota.com. It's Tutanota.com. I got to get a dip because I'm about to pass out here in the front. We're probably going to have to catch some cat here so I can wake up because you guys' questions are kind of fucking boring. Alright, we are back outside. We are going catfishing. Shitload of comments since the last time I looked at this. Holy shit, you guys are flooding this thing with comments. What is going on? Okay. What are we asking here? You guys have You have a shitload of questions all over the place. I guess most of the stuff you guys are talking to each other. Yeah. So the point of this video, this is Dugan. I don't know if you can see me. Here, I'll pull this off. Okay, so the point of this video is to let you guys know that the technical beginning of the Boog has already begun. You have destabilization operations being conducted in the United States right now. It's Friday, May 29th, 2020. We have concurrent riots occurring in multiple cities in the United States, including the White House. This is a subversive operation that is being coordinated most certainly through NGOs that are tax-exempt organizations that are acting as slush funds for both corporations and people that are in the federal government or in the legislative government. The historical precedence of this is the case of like Ferguson, Missouri, and the Eric Garner protests in particular, and most of your Black Lives Matter protests. Those were affiliated with a group that's called Democracy Partners. Democracy Partners was their CEO was a man named Robert Creamer. Robert Creamer is the husband of Jan Schakowsky, who is the state of Illinois representative for the 9th District. So, understand this is an established fact, and that it's known. This isn't like some kind of conspiracy theory or something like that. This has been known. It's been going on for years, and you have state representatives affiliated with destabilization operations within the United States that are resulting in people's deaths in the past. What is going on right now is that you have concurrent controlled destabilization operations in progress right now that have already resulted in death in the United States, and apparently they're trying to going as far as like fucking around with the White House. Most of the people that are in these protests are civilians and they have no idea what's going on. These are being stimulated and controlled by individuals and organizations that are familiar with this kind of operation. And some of them have probably done it overseas. Yeah, it doesn't matter if people see it as an actual uprising or not. The people that actually know what's going on, that are fighters, know that this is already bullshit. So, it doesn't really matter. But shit's going to go off the fucking rails from here. So the point of releasing this organization right now, the ESC, is that we're doing a call out, an initial call out. This is an informal video. I'm out here catfishing, I'm drinking beer. But you can send an email to Duger@tudenoda.com if you're interested in setting up a post for your locality. You're going to be required to do work to do it. You can't just be a guy sitting on your couch getting money sent to you. So you need to have a fucking a group of guys that are all war veterans to make your own post. The advantage is that you're going to be able to acquire real estate to have a location that's not your personal home, to where you can coordinate with other people to provide services that are needed for your locality to defend the Constitution and promote and maintain the United States. So if you're interested in that, you can send an email to Duger@tudenoda.com. You can also you can send something in the mail if you want. If you want to send a letter, if you're not comfortable with doing an email or something because you're ultra fucking paranoid, that's fine. You can send physical mail to DA, as in Dugan Ashley, but put DA the initial. That's for privacy reasons. DA, PO Box 173, Concordia, Missouri 64020. You guys don't worry about the IRS. IRS is a separate thing. This is a fucking private organization that is IRS exempt. You don't need to get it wrapped around the axle about that, because if you're getting wrapped around the axle, it means you don't understand what's going on. Alright, we're gonna go fishing, okay? We're gonna get some channel cat here. Unless anybody has something really pressing they need to know right now. We're gonna do some catfishing. 420 Gaming says you're creating an on-target radar. You're creating a on-the-radar target. 420 Gaming, we don't give a fuck. This is real life. This is not anything nefarious or illegal. We are 100% legal, and we are working on community service. That is what this is for. You have fucking shit popping off that's killing people in the United States right now because they're making fucking synthetic protests. I don't give a fuck about targeting. The people that are going to be in this organization are the people that are fucking serving in the fucking police and the fucking feds that you're fucking worried about like a pussy. Nah, I'm sorry. That's not to be harsh. That's not to be harsh. I'm just trying to check you, okay? I'm just checking you. It's just a friendly check. Just don't take it too harsh. We're gonna be doing some catfishing now, okay? My headlamp is like super fucking dead. It's okay. We've actually still got a lot of worm on this hook. So we're good to go. I'll put this other worm back in my pocket. Now for the vet organization, it's kind of weird right now because like, you know, we don't have like a website and shit, so it seems kind of like weird. It's me and two other guys right now. So we need donations. If you want to make donations, you can make donations. We're gonna get a website up and we'll make it look all pretty so that you guys still trust it, which it's almost like inverse. Like you really should trust people that don't have pretty websites, but I guess it's just the way that things work. So we're going to make a pretty website so you guys are, you know, comfortable with it and everything. And, you know, it's not like a scam or something. But, you know, like I know all the people involved in this so far, and I stake my reputation on it as it is now. This is like, you know, this is where we're going with this. Now we're going to catch some cat. Here we go. set for some fucking cat. All right, boys. Oh, all right, boys. We're set for some fucking cat here. We're just waiting. We're waiting on this little bobber to jiggle around. It's gonna be pretty quick. Oh, we got some comments on here. You see the bobber right there? You can see that? It's right there. That's what we're watching, okay? You let me know in the comments when it moves. Euphoric asked me if it's a good idea to join the military. I can't answer that for you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You need to follow God with whatever you think is right. But the people in the United States are going to need some fucking help here in the next couple of years. So if you're joining the military to serve the United States, there could be a possibility that you can serve it in a greater capacity by rearranging your life here to be able to serve your community, because we're going to need you. And we need if you're a male and you're in military age range, you would be very needed here in the coming future. We got a request here for a follow-up jam to hold an AK, but about P90s. That's a possibility. We got a lot of songs. I got about 20 tracks that I'm working on right now. I'm gonna release the Spank Your Booty first. A GAR. I don't have any GAR in here actually. This is mostly gonna be Channel Cat, because the Channel Cat are pretty much out competing everything else. So it's like a 90% chance that we're gonna grab a channel here. I have seen a snapper, I think, like a red snapper, and then possibly like a bluegill, but yeah, Kevin says you might see some P90ing soon, boys. You very well may. It'll be like the biggest case study of 5.7 that's ever happened besides the cartel action. 420 asked, do you blaze the ganja, Dugan? No. Yeah, I know there's a lot of call for Little Machine Gun. When I can get around to it, I will look at that, and if I can do it, I will do that. Because people really want it. I don't know. Like, you guys got to understand, like, I am standing out here right now drinking beer and fishing, so it may appear that I do this all the time, but this is like my only time off for the whole week. I am not drunk. I am drinking beer. DM asked me if I have kids. Nice try, Spook. No, there's no fighting. Okay, regular 338 asked me, so where do we go from here, Dugan? Fight or stay home? We are not fighting right now. This is what's going on. You have the bad Boog is going to try to get you to fight. Now, most likely, things being what they are, like, we are going to end up in a fight eventually. But you don't want that to be by your choice. Like, you don't want to go out there and make a fight, because You want to be good, right? So we don't like hurt people. We're here to help people. And so now that doesn't mean that you need to give away your liberty, because that will be taken advantage of and you'll be attacked if you do that. But we don't want to go out and find a fight. What we do want to do is become independent as people and as a community in all the communities around the United States. And we want to turn off our dependence on the federal money drip, which is what has been established. It took about 100 years for them to get to this point. We want to get off of that, and we want to restructure the United States to provide independent resources that are completely autonomous for each family and each individual, and not tied into a top-down chain of dependence. Because when they are tied down into a hierarchy of dependence, what happens is that you lose control of your resources, and then they can be taken away arbitrarily to force stress on you to make you do things that you don't want to do. And that's the model that we need to get away from. We need to get into redundant, mutually exclusive resources for the United States. We have no reason to be doing globalism. We've got fucking 3,000 miles side to side from coast to coast of highly fertile land and minerals to provide everything that we need here. And we have made a huge mistake by allowing international retail finance to turn the United States into a distended logistic dependence that people are depending on without any foresight or awareness of where the things that they consume are coming from. So we're basically like operating on autopilot here with no control over our destiny. That shit has to stop. We are going to go to, a model where, individual families can own property and really own it, and provide their own resources, provide their own fuel. And we're going to have to restructure society ourselves. And it's going to be without the use of the money chain that we're currently on, which is international retail finance. If you do not do that, if you think that like the current system as we are is the way to go, you're going to get fucking rolled up. No matter what. Even if you fight, you're going to get rolled up. And they are happy to provide you the bullets that you need, the grenades that you need, the rocket launchers that you need, whatever you need. They don't care. Because when you get done fighting, you're going to be so fucking tired. You're going to be ready to accept whatever kind of condition is going to be on the history books to tell people that you won. That is the way that this shit works. We're done with that shit. We are going to the place of we want families to actually be strong. We want people to have resources and not be vulnerable to be taken advantage of, to be forced into a situation where they have to hurt each other. And we want the Constitution, and we want fucking constitutional rights fucking recognized. And we want to put the American people in a position where they can legitimately defend their rights and do it by fucking force, like lawful force if necessary. We don't want people to use force. We want it to be inherent in the understanding of how we live in our society. But the reason that we can't do that right now is because of the influence of international retail finance. And it has corrupted the system as far as education, as far as finance, as far as the government, all the way down the pipe. And we have moved from abandoning our balance of powers, which was what the Constitution was carefully constructed to maintain in order to prevent subversion and an overtaking of the United States system of government that we authorize as the people. It's been bought out, and so it's ineffective. And right now we are seeing the effects of what that looks like in real time. We are seeing the effects of what this actually looks like. And you have to understand that this is going to cause a lot of people to get really pissed off. Like, the response to this shit that's going on right now is going to snowball, and people are going to get pissed off. What we need to do is realize that we need to stop listening as a society to the people that we are listening to, the MSM and the unelected government. We need to stop listening to them, and we need to form strong communities. And the only way that you can do that is to have the resources that people need to be able to have enough space and time and room to be able to form their own communities and associations without the impingement of money making humanity run moment to moment like an emergency back to back. Every second is an emergency, and we're all just trying to get by. We're all struggling. We need to get rid of that and buy ourselves some breathing room. And the way that we do that is that at first we've got to start providing for ourselves in the immediacy. And the only way that we can do that is by the economic model that we already have set up, because we are like entrapped in it. So we have to use the economic model that we have right now to start building independent systems to get people off of dependence of everything that they consume, the consumer model. And we're limited to that because the system that is in place now, the economic system, is all-encompassing, and it has devoured everything. So there's no piece of property in the United States that is not owned under the for-profit or not-for-profit model. There is no entity in the United States that is not subject to multiple levels of taxation. There is no entity that is not subject to non-elected government regulatory control, which is designed to guide it and steer it into the direction they want and to shut it down if they don't like it. And we've got to get rid of this. And the way that we do it is we're going to take the money that we have right now, and we're going to start making redundant resources for people, and we're going to have to make significant changes. The first step in that is that we have to have the actual places of assembly and the real estate resources in terms of like buildings to meet at, so that you guys aren't meeting in fucking houses and shit. And we need to start working on having food, because if you haven't noticed it right now, the United States actually is importing in terms of food. We are importing our food more than we are even exporting. So everything in the United States, like I live out here in bumfuck Missouri, and everything around here is monoculture. So you pretty much have Monsanto running this motherfucker, and they're making corn and bean. If you aren't aware of this, corn and bean, soybean and corn. Most of that is used for filler food and for fuel, like ethanol production and shit like that. And it's exported. And that is the primary model of monoculture cropping in the United States. And it's extremely destructive. And it has bought out all of our redundancy to where we are importing food at a technically an economic loss. And the reason why is not because it makes sense or because it's some kind of good deal. It's because it's being funded that way by fucking international retail finance. And the reason that they are financing it is because they know that it is removing our ability to feed ourselves, so that we are like in a shit situation, so they can put pressure on us if they want to. And that is what's coming down the pipe. And you're going to see it soon. And with COVID-19, like farmers around here were getting fucking letters from CDC affiliate organizations giving them heads up to like euthanize cattle and shit in case of the virus affecting cattle and making them non-sellable. So this is all this shit is like hype, and they're just fucking doing it so that they're getting everybody ready to play go fetch anytime that they throw the fucking ball, and they're going to be deciding when they throw the ball, not you. That is what is going on right now. That is what COVID is all about. This entire system has been finalized in the post 9/11 era, and they've got pretty much top-down compliance. Tuta Nota, Tutanota, Tuta Nota. Duger at tutanota.com is the email. It's in the it should be in the notes of this stream. Okay, Mark asked me, Doug, how long has it been since the government acted in the best interest of its citizens? In my opinion, that would be the War of 1812 with Thomas Jefferson, technically. After that, you have like limited pockets and instances where you have like constitutional representation, but they're pretty much battling the influx of the new system that we are in now, which slowly came into place. In 1913, you get the Federal Reserve and the income tax. That's when shit really went fucking sideways. After that, that's when you start getting world wars. The only reason that you could even do World War One was because they put the Federal Reserve System in place, which provided like a fucking wide open gate to get loans from international retail finance to provide the material and war armament in quantity necessary to fight World War One, which is like the first full-scale industrialized war. Yeah, you could go back. You could go back to 1776. You could go back to forever. I'm just talking inward jogger. I am just talking about the guy's question. I'm talking about in the perception he has. We're not going to go back to prior to the 7 Years' War. Okay, we're not going to do that because these people aren't going to fucking understand what I'm talking about. Do I play video games? No. This is my video game right now. We're actually sucking at catching cat. We should have got a cat right now. They're kind of inactive. It's kind of late. You really want to do it like right after it gets starts getting dark. But we'll recast into a different spot and see what happens. We're gonna recast. Recast. Can't get my phone to stay on. I think we're on a hot spot there. I think we're gonna be good to go. And we're gonna probably fucking rip some lips here pretty soon. Okay, can I get a roll call on new situations here? We got any new riots taking place right now? Oh, here's an interesting question. This is good. I like this. So I'm going to answer this question, but if anybody could give me a consolidated list of update of active riots that are taking place in the United States that are confirmed, no bullshit or rumor. Like confirm fucking you've seen video or you're fucking there and there are like people tearing up shit. Please put a list in here for people that are watching this video so they can understand the current situation. The question I'm going to answer is Whiskey Tango asks, Booger Eater, do you think they'll try to make us behave by feeding us replacement meat Dugan, aka Beyond Beef, and bug proteins? I don't think that they're going to control your behavior, but what they are going to do, one of the most efficient proteins that you can currently harvest is what's called black soldier fly. And that is a specific phenotype of fly that is highly efficient in its life cycle and can be rendered into like a protein substrate extremely quickly. And it is protein, so like humans can't survive off of it. And it does seem that will be like the eventual, like where we're going to eventually. But I don't think it's really for control. I think it's just like an ultra fucking ruthless profit model. So you got police officers getting shot at in Minneapolis. Milwaukee's got looting. Peaceful protest in Salt Lake. Of course, Salt Lake has a peaceful protest. So Utah's beautiful. Pentagon's getting MPs ready for crowd control. Seattle police are barricading themselves. Antifa is marching through Portland. North Atlanta is being looted. Yeah, we have caught some fish at Fort Phantom. We're trying to catch another one right now. They're kind of sleeping right now. It's kind of late. Regular 338 says, Doug, are these riots going to turn into killing? Yeah, eventually. I don't know if tonight, but yeah, you're probably, if it's this serious right now, this is probably going to continue, and then you're going to get some purging going on. So if you guys are like a dissident or something, you better have your shit fucking tight. I've already talked about this, but just to reiterate. White House protests are confirmed. Oh, we got a fish. We got a fish biting, boys. We're gonna fucking rip a fucking channel cat out of here. Looks like he's kind of small though. He just had a little bite and then backed off. Channel cat are weird. They'll like really play with the worm, you know what I'm saying? So like, they'll pull on it and give it a tug, and then sometimes they'll just sit there with it in their mouth. Like they're just so lethargic sometimes. They'll just lay there on the bottom and just hold the worm in their mouth. Yeah, so if you didn't know this, so Antifa is funded by an NGO that is called it's called Alliance for Global Justice, among other NGOs. And Alliance for Global Justice is funded by like Patagonia, George Soros' Tides Foundation, as well as Open Societies Foundation, as well as trusts, a bunch of trusts, most of them Jewish, out of New York. We had one channel cat bite, and then nothing following that. Okay, Josh just gave me an update here, so I'm gonna give you a consolidated update on destabilization in the United States right now, on Friday, May 29th, 2020. So currently we have confirmation of active riots that have taken place in Minneapolis, Los Angeles, Denver, Louisville, Columbus, Phoenix, Atlanta, Houston, DC, New York City, Indiana, Charlotte, Dallas, Seattle, Portland, Fort Wayne, Boston, Pensacola, Memphis, Kansas City, Omaha, and Bakersfield. Yeah, it is insane. But what? So did I ask? Is that insane? The amount of protests? Yes, it is. It's pretty intense. But what you have to understand is that we are in the midst of. This is a coordinated. This is not. The people that are at the riots don't know what the fuck's going on. The people that are running this shit know exactly what the fuck is going on. You guys are about to get fucking. The United States is about to get rolled up. We got a bobber just one underwater, boys. Got a fish. Just a little baby fish. No big deal. We gotta take them off. Throw them out. This one's even smaller than the last one. We got a high population of juvenile fish in it. When you get a high concentration of juvenile fish, that's typically a sign that you're having short reproduction cycles and death cycles, and that usually means that you have to have additional feed, like additional food source, or you need to aerate. If you aerate your pond water and oxygenate it, then you can actually increase the size of the fish. Just if you're not aware of that. That one was actually super easy. So we're looking at like a really small catfish here. This is like a baby catfish. We're gonna throw him back in there. All right, so he's back. We're gonna reworm. You got most of the worms, so you got a little snack there. This worm is huge. This worm is like not fitting on the fucking hook because it's so big. Cody H asked if we're booging or what. The boog has started, but you probably don't want to be involved right now. You want to get your shit tight and hang out. We got to figure out who's doing the purges. It's probably going to be DHS, but we need confirmation on it. We need to figure out who's doing the purges. You should have your shit tight though. You should be ready to go in case you have some crazy shit pop off in your area and you need to defend people. You should be in a defensive mindset. All right, we're good to go. We got a recast in here. We got a good recast. Yeah, tighten your shit up, bro. That's what 420 Gamer says. You are correct. What are Kegels again? What do I think of airsoft as a training medium? Airsoft is appropriate for building hand-eye coordination and like micro target transition, but besides that, it's not. You know, it can be if you're in your eyesight to acquire a target and pull the trigger to engage the target and hitting it and then transitioning to another target. That is what airsoft is good for. Other than that, it's not good. Like if you don't realize, like if you think you're getting additional value, it's you know, it can kind of set you up for failure. But if you can critically understand that is what you're doing when you're training with it, and then it can be useful and effective. In Richmond, you got an armed, unidentified man chasing protesters right now. Okay, we got a fish bite. We got another fish here. We're getting set up. We're gonna fucking rip a lip here. It looks small. It looks like another fucking small one. He's playing with the fucking bobber. Might take him a minute because he's probably like a little guy. He's not gonna be so sure about it. Something get beard. Oh yeah, Kegel. Isn't Kegel's like a cock exercise or something? Yeah, the Discord. So the Discord is a like an open forum for like free discussion for fucking you know, free speech and for passing information between each other and figuring out shit that isn't, you know, is difficult to find normally. If you go in there, make sure you don't abuse it. You know, like you know, be kind to people and you know, somewhat, and speak your mind in a way that's not like you know, destructive. And don't do anything fucking illegal in there. We had a bite on our line and then it went away. No activity on the line right now. I think we'll wait and see what happens here. Fuck, we'll just sit on the truck. Oh, we just got a bite. Yeah, we got a fish in the line now. Oh, he just popped off. Waiting for it to go back down. Right when I get in the fucking truck, that's when they bite. I don't feel like waiting. I'm going back to the truck. Maybe it'll make him bite again. Right? Since that's when they seem to like to do it. All right. We're in the truck. We're in the fucking command center. What do you guys want to talk about? Anything? Well, we got a fish. We got a fish. What? No, he's off. Man, they're just like not connecting here. Are we losing people? Are we losing? Oh shit! There's a shitload of comments here. Sorry, I didn't have my comments on live. Let's see what we got. Discord is 349 people currently. Wow. Yeah, it's probably gaining quite a bit now that people are realizing that Dugan's not so fucking insane after all. I'm just ahead of your fucking power curve, society. How important is night vision? Well, if you're actually like fighting groups of people, it's like critical. But if you're just in a defensive position and you're like worried about like individuals, it's not that critical. But if you're gonna be engaging in like force on force conflict, like you're gonna be at a severe disadvantage without night vision. But you're also gonna be a severe disadvantage if you're not trained with night vision. Like if you just strap a pair of fucking goggles to your head, you're not gonna do very well. Because like people in the military, like combat arms units and shit, the people that use night vision all the time, they fucking do everything from like they drive around in vehicles the exact way that you do during the day, but with night vision. They fucking know how to do like remedial action on weapon systems when they jam and shit with night vision. They know how to do fucking medical aid with night vision. They know how to do like everything with night vision, which is a slightly different process than what you would do in daylight because of obviously like limited visibility and tunnel vision and shit like that. So if you're not used to that and you think you're going to throw a pair of night vision goggles on your head, like you're going to have a bad time. Okay? Now, that being said, you can detect, we got a fish. You can detect that shit. You can detect threats and shit with night vision. So it is good for, figuring out what the fuck is going on. He keeps playing with it, but he's not committing to it, so that's why I'm standing there. So if you're like financially challenged and you want something to detect, like something to like night vision, supplemental night vision, you can actually go through there's a company called Psionics, that's like Syonix, and Psionics makes a unit called the Aurora, and they make another unit called the Sport, and these are digital night vision with high sensitivity sensors in them, and they're approximately equivalent to like a good Gen 2 model, and they're totally capable of detecting threats in darkness. They're also compatible with all of your infrared lasers and designators and all that shit. They're going to be significantly cheaper than analog night vision tubes. I do not have psionics, but I've like thought about getting them, so I've researched them a lot. Like their actual sensor. It's psionics with what is it? How do you spell psionics? Can somebody look that up and post it in there? How you spell it? Sionyx. Yeah, it is. So because it's a digital sensor, it has sensitivity in higher ranges than even like conventional night vision. It's also color night vision. I mean, if you can afford OpsCore, you should go with OpsCore, Dave. But if you can't afford it, and if it's going to be the difference between getting one or not, you can get the hardhead bitter, and they will stop bullets in certain capacities and angles. I don't know what you mean about hit and runs and gunshots, and so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Oh, shot spotter? I mean, I wouldn't even fucking worry about that shit. You know how fucking hard that shit is to use? Like, we had shit like that in Ramadi. Shot spotter works if it's like one guy with one shot. It doesn't work in a fucking, like, war zone. Binoculars, yeah. Okay, so, 2 thoughts on binoculars. So I would recommend going with the, there's a really good unit from Vortex that is called the, somebody's gonna have to look it up for me because I can't remember what it's called. They have a binocular that's in the 8 power range, and it has a mil reticle in it, and it's pretty affordable. I think it's called the Recon, it's like the Vortex Recon RT, I believe, if somebody could check that. And it's pretty high quality, and it's small, so you can actually carry it. It's more appropriate for a tactical application, and you get the benefit of being able to do, like, you can with a mil reticle, you can calculate range, and you can you can measure objects. It's called the Vortex Recon RT, I believe. Have a good night, Lego Star Wars Obi-Wan. Yeah, Dwayne wants to know about defeating thermal systems. So, like, you can defeat them with space blankets. Oh, we got a fish. Okay. Okay, so we've done an hour and 50 minutes here on this most recent stream. Uh, do we want to start a new stream here so that we're not getting like a fucking 4-hour stream? Somebody get no knocked? Excuse me. I'm really sorry about that. Okay, I'm gonna make an executive decision. We are gonna kill the stream and we're gonna start late night Boog stream.